everybody, and welcome to Mary Elizabeth Jones's Friday Hour.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, I'm Kaye Lazar, rounding out the rest of the summer.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I heard you had some good news. You're in a new play.
Yes, I'm going to be in December. I'm going to be in Anne of Green Gables,
All right.
and I'll be playing the character of Jane.
Wait, is this a different play than they've done before? Is it like a Christmas version, or is it just the regular version?
It's a Christmas version.
Yeah. I've been in the regular version. There's several books, and I remember one movie I saw on television had Martin Sheen as the old man and the father. And Anne of Green Gables is a good story, yeah,
Yeah.
from Canada,
Yeah.
yeah. And so, yeah, we'll talk about that as well. Looking good,
Yep.
you're looking good. And I got to show you some things I picked up. I got you a dinner, sun chips.
These are really good too.
Well, they're all right. Let me tell you something. I don't know what sun chips were. I mean, I've tried them before, but I don't. They didn't leave a mark on me. I thought they were more like cookies, but they're more like chips. And I don't really eat chips; they're too salty. But I ate all of these because they're kind of, you eat a lot of them. And if you notice the container, it's in most chips are in like a plastic bag.
Yeah.
This is like a tennis balls.
Yeah.
It's tennis balls. So I open it up. It's like Pringles. Let's face it. It's like
Yeah.
Pringles. Okay. So I thought, oh, this is a new type of sun chips that look like Pringles.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? They're not. They're just typical. They're just typical.
Yeah.
They just filled up to the top. I don't know why they. I guess the Pringles people needed that. So anyway, I've already eaten quite a few of these. So we could eat. Uh, tell them you're on. Tell them you're doing a show. All right.
Yeah. Just.
That's why I don't bring a phone. You they Patty LaPone on Broadway would probably go into the audience and tell you to turn that off. But anyway, I got something else. I got something that's even better than that. I don't know where I am really, but you like Mountain Dew?
I do. Yes.
Yeah, everyone likes Mountain Dew. I gotta admit, I don't really like the other flavors. I just like the yellow flavor.
I haven't had it in years. Though.
You haven't had it in years.
No.
So I found this, a big thing of it. I thought there was an energy drink. I don't think it's an energy drink. I think it's hard Mountain Dew, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So says it contains alcohol. I'm not supposed to be drinking alcohol. And it's a malt beverage. But this is the thing I like most on there. Zero sugar. Zero sugar? That's all Mountain Dew is sugar.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to have some of this. How about that?
Yeah.
Did I shake it up enough so I can spritz it everywhere? Let's see. How do you keep it from spritzing? We'll figure it out. Okay.
I'm gonna try some of these. Okay.
We'll try some of these while I pour you a. Well, it looks like Mountain Dew. It's coming out yellow. Looks like a typical Mountain Dew. This is for me, I guess. Okay. So we'll have something to drink while we're going. It looks like Mountain Dew, actually. All right. Okay. I thank you.
Nice.
All right. Here is. You ever heard of a toast? Here we go. We're going to do a toast. Here is to a wonderful. I think this is our 96th show or 97th show. Here's to another 97 of them. All right. To you, Mary Elizabeth.
Yeah.
What's it taste like?
Pretty good.
It is good.
Yeah.
Does it taste like Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
Tastes like Mountain. Tastes like Diet Mountain Dew.
No.
Oh gosh. Tastes like Fresca. Remember Fresca?
Oh yeah.
That grapefruit diet
Yeah.
drink. I guess it's a diet drink.
Yeah.
I always vowed. Actually, show the camera what you can't really see in this cup, but you could actually see how yellow it is.
Yeah.
So it looks like Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess they sell this to the kids. They sell this to the kids, to the children. Hard mount. You ever had Mike's Hard Lemonade?
No, I haven't.
You ever had hard cider?
Oh
You ever
yeah.
had hard? Hard is the word they use for kids to drink alcohol. All right. This is probably one of those things that the more you drink of it, probably the better it tastes. So,
Yeah.
so yeah. Oh, let me tell you. While we're, I vowed never to do a show drunk.
Yeah.
This is, we may not. I may break that cycle now. When I was doing the Gorgeous George show, it was very hard not to do it drunk. Oh gosh, you usually were drunk after the show. Anyway, oh gosh, how do I do this? Anyway, hmm. Well, I like the regular Mountain Dew
Oh,
better.
me too.
Where'd you get this cup? Is this from your? Was your toothbrush in this cup?
Oh, it's just an old, old Tupperware.
Oh, it's Tupperware.
Old
Oh,
Tupperware
this
cup.
fancy. This is a fancy cup then.
Yeah.
Oh wow. You want to hear a funny story?
But
Once my mom gave my her granddaughter, my niece, a she said, "I want some water. I want some water." So she poured some water in a glass. She goes, "I'm not going to drink out of that glass." He goes, "Why?" Because last time I saw that glass, it had flowers in it. What kids come up with? When I think there is some toothpaste on here. Nah, I'm just kidding. What? I didn't like that look. Like, oh, I think you found me out.
that's not the only small cup that I got.
Small cup, yeah. Oh, you drink? You like the big iced tea glasses and everything?
Yes.
I know, I know. I remember sometimes going to a guy's house. He goes, "You want a drink?" I said, "Yeah." And they would pour me. This is in the college. They would pour me like an iced tea glass full of straight whiskey. So I can't drink that much. In fact, I could never drink. I think I've never had a good night on whiskey anyway. No, I I was more of wine coolers and
Yeah.
and Pabst with ribbon beer. Oh, let's see.
I used to drink wine coolers a lot too.
Uh-huh.
Like Boone's Farm.
Boom, bottles and jeans.
Yeah, that one
Want more of
too.
this?
No, thank you. That one
I
too.
can't drink all this myself.
Charles and James and
Charles
everything.
and James. Well, remember those commercials?
Those old men
Those two old men.
sitting on the rocking chairs in the
They're like,
porch.
yeah, they were like Penn and Teller. One guy did all the talking.
Yeah.
By the way, my dad said when I used to do the Gorgeous George show, he used to see me just looking pretty. George went rah 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 rah. Because you remind me, he said that show reminds me of an avant-garde Penn and Teller. You don't say anything. Yeah, it's the only time I was considered the quiet guy. Now, I'm on your show. I'm on other shows. I love the yammer. I love the yammer.
Yeah.
So speaking of looking pretty, I want to look my best for you today. Look at this tie.
That's beautiful.
Somebody brought this up. This tie. I mean, today said, they said Johnny Austin is the only guy. He's a juggler in town. Who knows how to ride a unicycle. And I said, John Austin is like my best friend. And these aren't unicycles. They're heliotropes.
Mhm.
They're those you see in the old movies. I've never seen anyone ride one. Maybe John has one. He drives a unicycle.
Yeah.
Is that bicycle with the
Oh
big
yeah. Oh yeah.
with the big wheel in the front
Oh
and the
yeah.
little wheel in the back? It must be hard to balance that thing. You always see it in like when they show the Paris World's
Oh
Fair
yeah.
of 1900 or the Eiffel Tower and guys wearing berets and stuff. But there's the heliotropes and it's very colorful ties. So I want to look my best. I always want to look my best for you and for the people out there. Did you ever think what makes a man good looking? What I'm not fishing for compliments, but what makes a man? What have you seen about men that you found attractive?
He has a good personality.
Good personality. Let me
Yeah.
tell you something. If a woman, if someone told me that the woman I'm going to date has a good personality, I say, all right, goodbye. She, she She looks like an ugly version of uh, of Roseanne Barr.
Yeah.
Well, in comparison to a pretty version of Roseanne Barr. No, no. So, what else do you find attractive on a man? You like gray hair? You like black hair? You like yellow hair?
I love black hair.
You like black hair?
Like you have black
I
hair.
have black. Well, every year it's getting, but I still have it, so that's good. For the most part, I still have it. So it's all I swirl it all around. Do you like? Let's see, big nose or little nose on a man? A man should have a good looking nose, I think.
I think you have a good looking.
Yeah, good looking nose. Let me tell you, I was in Europe, and someone was talking about men in from someone was talking about Prague. You're going to Prague? Yeah, I'm going to Prague. He goes, you know what's weird about Prague? Prague is the only place in the world, or the Czech Republic, where the men, where the women are so beautiful and the men are so ugly. I said, how could that happen? You know, they're the same mothers and fathers. So why would the women be all good looking? A lot of them are like Victoria's Secret models, and then the men are kind of weird looking. And I said, well, they're not. You know, they're weird looking. And then I go to Prague and I found out why. And it's a rather slight difference. The men aren't all that bad looking, but I tell you what's the difference. The women all have these cute little noses,
Yeah.
like in the Dr. Seuss story, but the men have the same nose. And a man does not look good with a little nose. A man should have a Roman nose, Roman all over his face, as the joke says. A man should have a nose of distinction, and more so than a woman. And so there you go. So then I realized, oh, if the men only had more prominent noses, they would be probably better, or they'd be typically, you know, what the typical man. You know, they actually they they don't understand. You know, they say babies no don't like weird looking people.
Yeah.
There was a weird looking guy in my neighborhood when I was a kid, and my sisters, when they were babies, whenever that guy would come over, they start crying. I didn't cry because I just thought he was a man, but he looked like kind of like Mr. Clean. All he needed was an earring. So of course I was going to scare a little baby. What else? Okay, so you know, there are a lot of men like in show business that are that I don't understand the appeal of the appeal of them, how they look, but the women love them. And who's that?
Especially George Clooney.
Well, George Clooney is a good looking man,
Yeah.
but that's not who I'm thinking
But
of.
I don't think he's good looking.
You don't think he's good looking?
No.
Well, the only problem I have with, I mean, his looks, George Clooney, is he he looks older than he really is because he's close to my age, and
Yeah.
but he look. I always, I mean, maybe I look his age now, but when I was a younger man, maybe 30 years old, he still looked like a 60-year-old man,
Yeah.
and he let his hair gray. I mean, go gray, which is good. You know, that's a. I mean, I think if a man gets older, he's got to like learn to lean into it. You know, stay in shape. You know, that type of thing. Don't let yourself go. You know, a lot of guys, you know, lose their hair, but that's no problem. I mean, like Bruce Willis and then Jason Statham and people like that. I mean, they still look good. You know,
Yeah.
man. Back when you're a movie star, a bald head looks. It's a good look on a
Yeah.
movie star. Vin Diesel, The Rock. Um, let's see. But they're Adam Driver is he's used to be on the show Girls, and you see him in all the Star Wars movies, and he's a good actor, and he and all the and but a lot of women tell me how good looking he is, and he is. I think the longer I've been looking at him, the more I've noticed that his appeal. Another guy is that guy Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
He's the comedian, and he's in a lot of movies,
Oh
and he
yeah.
seems to get all these girlfriends like her. I mean, I'm not saying because he's a millionaire or something, but I mean, they never make jokes about his looks. There's some sort of appeal about him. Ariana Grande was his girlfriend and stuff. I mean, Charles Bronson in my day. Charles Bronson, A lot of people thought he was funny looking, but then you look at him. What a good looking man! I mean, there are people that are really good looking, like Rock Hudson or Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise. I mean, they're pretty obvious what they look like. But that's what you know. A lot of women don't like guys with beards. What do you think of beards?
Well, it kind of depends,
Hmm.
but
I tell you something about beards. This was brought to my attention because I love the show Survivor.
yeah.
Um, a friend of mine who's had a beard almost his whole adult life, he said that he thinks that all men look better with beards, and I said, "Oh, okay." I mean, I haven't had a beard since my 20s, and so then I kind of dismissed what he said, but then there's that show Survivor, and if you notice that show Survivor, they're not allowed to or they don't shave, they don't have a razor. So as the show goes on, for the whole month, like if you don't shave, it starts to grow a beard. And by the time these people are about to be voted off, maybe at the end of end of the season of Survivor, they all have beards, okay? And you
Yeah.
get used to them, and they actually look pretty good with beards.
Mhm.
And then they get voted off, and then they're a member of the jury, and then in the 2 days they're a member of the jury. They shave their beards off, and they look weird again. So yeah, they do look weird. Yeah. Do you know that more romances have been created on Survivor than on The Bachelor?
I didn't know that.
You would think on The Bachelor, oh look, I pick of 12 girls, or a girl has a pick of 12 boys or something, and The Bachelorette. You would think that would work, but it doesn't work. You know why it doesn't work? That's all facade. That's all artifice.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how it works. On The Bachelor, they all wear tuxedos and gowns and jewelry and makeup and mouthwash and everything. And on Survivor, they don't wear any of that stuff. They have bad breath. They have BO. They go to the bathroom in the water. And if you could fall in love with someone through all of that, and it has happened, Boston Rob and Amber and stuff, then that's the old joke. If you're not sure to marry somebody, take a 3 day bus ride with them. And if you're still talking after 3 days, then marry them because they're the only one that's going to put up with you. Um, so yeah, so that's what else can I think of? I used to wear a hat all the time because mom and dad used to give me these crew cuts,
Yeah.
and this during like a time when guys had long hair, like the Beatles, and I wanted to look like them. So I would get these crew cuts, and I hated it. And then looking back on them, I looked at not baby pics, but little boy pictures of me, and I didn't really have long hair. I just had like a mo haircut, the Pete Rose look, and that's what the Beatles had really. Their hair wasn't really all that long. It's just they had bangs, which is what little boys have. And then I wore a hat all the time, a baseball cap, any type of hat. And everyone, oh, I was watching a show. I think it was like a movie like Laurel and Hardy, where a guy, a fan was blowing that they plugged it, and the guy's hair flew off. It was a
Oh.
wig. I said, "How'd that guy's hair fly off?" And Dad said, "That's a wig. You never heard of a wig? That's a toupee."
Yeah.
I said, "You mean that when you get a haircut, you could you could wear fake hair on your head to make it look like you have hair?" He
Speaking,
said, "Yeah." Well,
speaking of a toupee, the guy on the Golden Girls named Stanley,
yes,
oh, he had a toupee.
I know. Well, that was,
And Dorsey had been made fun of
they always make fun of it because in very few cases you they're very easy to spot. And in fact, in real life, you don't really see a lot of them. You see them more on television and movies and stuff. I've seen a few guys with toupees, and they look great. Charlton Heston wore a toupee. William Shatner was a toupee, and they're so Elton John. They look so good that it Billy Bob Thornton that it looks like their real hair, but it's not.
it.
But probably if you were close by, I was close by a couple of them, and you could tell, you could see where the net and. But anyway, so I'm watching this show, And so I said, that's what I want. Every time I get one of these stupid haircuts, I want a toupee. So I go to see Santa Claus, and the Santa Claus so Santa Claus, what do you want, little boy, for Christmas? And I said, a toupee, a baby wig. And so that was hilarious. Dad says, get out of get out. I thought I'd do you a favor taking you to see Santa Claus, and you asked for a toupee. What type of jokes are you pulling? I said, that wasn't a joke. I was serious. What else? So oh, by the way, I got a haircut about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it looks good now. When you first get a haircut, you get that jarhead look.
Yeah.
You get the jarhead look, and it doesn't look right. But then give it 2 weeks or so, it looks right. Now I'm a very terrible judge on haircuts. I I think I look better like with my hair down to my backside, as my dad was. But I don't look that. You look better with the haircut. You know, a man. There's three things a man looks good in. I've mentioned this on the show before: a crew cut, a tuxedo, and sunglasses. You know,
Yeah.
put them all together: a crew cut, tuxedo, and sunglasses. A man looks like Brad Pitt. So anyway, so but I'm a bad judge of that, because when I have my hair long, I think I look really good, and then I get my hair cut. I never liked the haircut I ever got. And then I look at like old movies or old photos of me with long hair, and I think, gosh, who told me to have my hair that long? In many cases, it was because I was too lazy to get my hair cut. But I kind of wish I could just keep the same haircut forever, but you can't.
Yeah.
The old joke is that hair, 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 barbers are never out of work, because no matter how bad times are, hair still grows. So what else? Good look on men. What do you think of jewelry on men, like earrings and rings and watches and everything? I don't wear any jewelry myself. So
I like rings on them.
you like rings on men?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like rings like Doctor Doom shooting out lasers. So I used to have rings as a kid, with the Batman on them,
Yeah.
the 3D rings,
I like them in wedding rings.
wedding rings.
Like
Well, okay, a good point you made. Someone told me about wedding rings, that no matter how rich a man is, he should wear a plain gold band. That's the only ring. A gentleman never wears a diamond ring.
Yeah.
Like a gangster does,
Yeah.
wears a diamond ring. Because the only diamond ring a man's allowed to wear is a Super Bowl or World Series ring.
Yeah.
But ring, I don't. But when you're a kid, you're always trying to wear. I mean, you're a boy trying, with Batman rings, and medallions, and you know, I'm not kidding you. I have friends of mine. I travel all the time. That goes, whatever you do, Kevin, when you go to New York and you get on the subway, or if you go to Paris, or if you go to London or something, don't wear gold chains. They're going to tear them right off your neck. I said, I don't wear gold chains. Who do you think I am? David Brenner. So anyway, but I always, it took me a while until my mid 20s to start wearing suits and ties, and part of it is because no one else was wearing them. I see how other men dress, and I said, I'm not going to dress like them, with the short pants and the t-shirts and everything. One guy, I know guys with white beards, short pants, and t-shirts, and I said they look like Santa Claus with Bermuda shorts on. When he's not riding the sleigh. Now, what do you think makes a woman good looking?
Well, her eyes,
Maybe like bloodshot eyes or
like
eyeshadow,
like blue eyes, like mine.
blue eyes. What's the matter with brown eyes? You have a problem with it? I have brown eyes.
Brown eyes are pretty too, but
Yeah,
I like blue eyes.
blue eyes. Yeah,
Blue and green eyes.
blue and green eyes.
I
My
have
eyes,
like a bluish green eye, I think.
my eyes are bloodshot.
Bloodshot. They don't look bloodshot.
It's an old joke. My 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 tie matches my eyes. A bloodshot tie.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I'm not. I was thinking. Well, I mean, eyes are to me. Eyes are fine as long as you can see through them. Um, I know that as you get older, the first wrinkles you have around your eyes, and a lot of times when people get plastic surgery, they get it on their eyes to smooth it, to smooth out their eyes, get the wrinkles out of them. But then they get that what they say, the Asian look, and you don't want
Yeah.
that. I mean, unless you're Asian. But I remember some people like what's her face, the famous one, Peggy Lee, had
Yeah.
her whole face look like smoothed out, and she looked almost weird. And that high for it. Nicole Kidman now has that look. I think they're both pretty women, but they did look like they had a little help. They're on a their plastic surgeon was on speed dial on a first name basis.
Mhm.
So a lot of times, well, I tell the story all the time about Kenny Rogers. How when I saw him, I took pictures of him, and then 6 months later, he had that terrible plastic surgery to make him look younger, but he
Yeah.
didn't look any younger. He just looked weirder. And they said you took the last good pictures of the good Kenny Rogers. But anyway, so yeah, so I'll tell you, Willie Nelson. You know what Willie Nelson looks like? Long hair, wrinkled
Oh
face,
yes.
beard,
Yes.
t-shirt, that type of thing. But if you look at the old albums he made in the 1960s, he's wearing a suit and tie, crew cut, no beard. He looks like a typical guy.
Yeah.
And I guess he looks fine, but you're used to Willie looking the way he does. But at the same time, I showed my dad a clip from an old TV show of Willie singing. I said, that is Elton. He goes, no, who is that? He goes, the greatest singer of them all. That's Willie Nelson. He goes, oh, that's Willie, huh? And I said, if you close your eyes and listen to him sing, he from the 1960s to the current day, he didn't sound all that different. He just looks different, like the hippie look. So anyway, so that's so there you go. Now a lot of people think Willie is very good looking. Willie, when I met Willie, um, he was signing autographs, and he was being distracted and everything. People try to get his attention. At one point, he said, "Some guy," I said, "I posed for a photo." And I got his autograph, and then he looked at me and stared at me and shook my hand. He goes, "Thank you for coming to my show tonight."
Mhm.
And then I noticed a sort of a charm about him, that now I know why all the women like him. That he was nice to a young. I was a young guy at the time, probably 25, but and I looked like I was 14. That that there's a lot of a lot of swagger a guy could have, a lot of modesty a lot of humility a guy could have, a lot of charm, and that goes a long way. Not everyone looks the same. Everybody has to. Um, Everyone has a hand of cards they're dealt in life. Intelligence, sense of humor, good looks, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Robert Redford, very good looking man, famously a good looking man. And he almost. Did you ever see The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman?
Yes.
Okay, you know the story of the.
I had the soundtrack at
Oh
home.
yeah, oh the soundtrack is so good with Paul Simon and the Garfunkel.
Here's to
Hey,
you, Mrs. Robinson. Don't you
Jesus loves you more than
you
you will
will
know.
know.
Ho 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 ho.
Oh,
God
God bless
bless
you,
you, please.
please, Mrs. Robinson. Hey, hey,
Hey,
hey.
hey, hey.
Hey, hey,
Oh, by
hey.
the way, every time I see The Graduate, everyone loves that ending where he rescues the woman from the wedding.
Yeah.
I I think it's an unhappy ending because I always feel sorry for that groom that she left at the altar. Who is this guy? You never even hear him say anything.
I know. Hmm.
That is well. At the same time, if a woman's going to be rescued at a wedding, you might as well have it then than somewhere down the line. Anyway, um, The Graduate. Okay, Robert Redford was up for the part of The Graduate, and the director. I think it was Mike Nichols. I think it was I mean, he was the director, but I don't know. It was the producer or the director or the writer of it, who was Buck Henry. I think it was Mike Nichols said, "Now, this guy is kind of a nerdish type of college graduate, and he's very, he's kind of hesitant with women, and that's why he hooks up with Mrs. Robinson and her daughter." And said that, um, "Do you know what it's?" So I want you, when you're acting in the screen test they did or the audition he did, he says, "I want you to act like you can't get a girlfriend." And you know what Redford said? He said, "I've never not been able to get a girlfriend." Meaning that he is so good looking that the women never said no to him.
Yeah, yeah,
And of course, Mike Nichols said, who was a comedian himself, said to himself, "I think you're the wrong guy for this part. We need a guy that looks more like Dustin Hoffman."
yeah,
And that's who they got. Yeah.
yeah.
So okay, what do you think? I tell you what turns me off, men and women, is smoking.
I know.
Smoking.
I don't smoke. So.
Well, I don't think. I mean, if you're a smoker, then meet. There's plenty of other smokers. But even if you meet an ex-smoker and you fall in love with them and you marry them and all, there's no guarantee that the marriage will be the relationship will get so bad that she'll start or he will start lighting up again, and then you're living with a smoker again.
Yeah,
Everything's smelling like smoke and everything, or drinking too.
yeah.
But smoking is really bad. And I never liked people who mistreated animals.
I
You
know.
know, pick up dogs by their ears or
That's
something.
terrible.
I mean, you know what I heard about what's very what a lot of women tell me is very unattractive on a man is when you go to a restaurant, especially a first date. It's usually just lasts the first date when this happens, and the guy treats the waiter or waitress like their slave. Hey,
Yeah,
give me another glass of water. Hey, what's the matter? Why am I? Why aren't you giving me my food now? And you know the story behind that, don't you?
oh,
It means that if you marry this guy, this is exactly how he's going to be treating you.
yeah.
Hey, give me a glass of water. Hey, did I say? I said I wanted it yesterday. Come on, that type of thing. Another thing is they also say, if you can early in a relationship meet a guy's meet his mother and him together and see how he treats his mother, or if he says I don't talk to my mother, or we never got along or anything, then that kind of tells you how he's going to treat you.
Yeah.
And so my problem, with women is that I always try to see when they ask when I like women. I like girly girls, and I don't like women who tell me, "Oh, I don't have any female friends. All my friends are men." Yeah, well, yeah, all your friends are men. That what does that tell you? That means that all those men are like rubbing their hands together, waiting for you to get out of the way.
Well, yeah.
So I always try to find out if the women in my life have female friends, because if they have female friends, then there's some, and I have male friends. So I mean, what's the old joke about the friends? Says there's a lot of people in my life that are friends that I never make love to, and we have platonic relationships. You know what they're called? They're
What?
called men.
Yep.
Anyway, and so yeah, so that's as far as I used to, I tell you how, I was kind of nasty at one time, and I like, because I'm always making jokes and everything. I was making a lot of jokes about fat people. I don't really make those jokes anymore. But this one girl said, "I don't like it when you make those jokes," and I said, "Why do you mean?" She said, she goes, "Well, I don't, because I think you're making them about me, and I don't really like hearing when you joke about fat people. I feel you're joking about me." And I said, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know." But then, as I started thinking about it, I think somebody said if she were making jokes about short people, I would be upset about that. But sometimes you don't have the perspective. You don't see things from other people's point of view, and part of that is called empathy, and you got to have that. I know there are a lot of habits men have that are totally women totally don't like. You know, one is taxidermy.
Yeah.
Would you like a man who like made took dead animals and made statues out of them?
No.
Fact, in Psycho, that character in Psycho is the Norman Bates character. That's what he does. That's his, and you know right from the get go that that's what he does. There was a movie called The Collector, and this guy kidnaps a woman, and she finds out he's a butterfly collector, and he and what happens is she when she sees his butterfly collection, which he's very proud of, she says, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Why'd you kill all these beautiful butterflies for your collection just
I
to look
know.
at? Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing, men who like troll people on the internet. You think women are gonna swarm to you? Oh, I just love how you bully people you don't even know, much older than you, and you know, to some extent, Donald Trump is that type of guy. He hates people right from the. He's our somebody said he's our bully in chief,
Yeah.
and I think he is. Yeah, because he's made fun of the guy with the cerebral palsy
Yeah.
early in his campaign last time. I mean, you know, eh, let, take my advice. Anything you do that should upset somebody, try to put yourself in their shoes. And I try to, I at least in public, I try to be a charming guy. Anyway, I think I'm talked out.
Yeah, we're going to take a little break for a